Okay, I mean, the principle, as far as I can see, goes right back to the Enlightenment. You know, like if you go back to classical Enlightenment thought, I'm not talking about Adam Smith and Jefferson and those guys. The sort of core idea is that people have the right to control their own work. You know, okay, that if a person, here I'll quote a standard formula back in the 18th century, leading heroes of the Enlightenment, is if a person if a person does beautiful work under external command, meaning for wages, we may admire what he does, but we despise what he is, because he's not a free human being. Okay, that goes all the way through classical liberal thought, Enlightenment thought. I mean, Alexis de Tocqueville says, under wage labor, the art advances, the artisan declines. Now, you find this going right into the working class movements in Lowell and Lawrence. I think that's just natural. I wouldn't try to convince anybody of it. It seems to me if you think about it, yeah, why should you work on command? I mean, if you work on command, you're some kind of slave. Why not work because it's coming out of your needs and interests? I mean, like, cheap for me to say, I'm in a fancy university in a science department and I can do that. One of the nice things about being in sciences at fancy universities, you really do have workers' control. To a very large extent, we control what we do. Want to work on this topic, I work on that topic. I mean, you got to sell it to funders and this and that, but the degree of workers' control at the elite level is quite substantial. I mean, that's why it's such a privilege to be in a science department. Enormously privileged existence. Forget the money. If they paid you 1/10 the amount of money, it would still be a much better existence than working on command. Now, I think people do know that. I don't think that these Enlightenment ideas are hard to grasp. I think people know that if you work under external control, you may admire what the person does, but despise what he is, because his labor, the sort of central part of your life, is being done at somebody else's orders. And you're not controlling the way it's done, or why it's done, or how it's used, or anything else. Well, you can't have every individual controlling every single thing, but that's why you have democratic structures, because people control things together. Okay, I don't know how to, I wouldn't try to convince anybody of this, because I frankly just don't believe that everyone doesn't know it.
Hey, boss.
Hey, Toots. Hey, you, there, yeah. Can you come join me, please?
How the interview is going out?
Oh, fucking weirdos.
You did pick them out.
I just hope this isn't one of those jobs, where the boss wants to get rid of.
Elaborate.
Oh, where he can't fire. Doesn't know how to fire, so he just puts you with people hoping they'll quit. Fuck. I'm hiring my own replacement.
Did pick them out, man.
A minute, please.
Haven't got you at a bad time?
No.
Well, anyway, I didn't hire anyone. I'm gonna do it myself.
Okay. You do it then. Fine.
Al, you can't smoke in here.
I can now. I'm going to enjoy this.
Did you hear what happened to Al?
I heard some whispers, but nothing definite. Why, did you hear about it?
Al found out about the boss and his porn job. He was renting out the office for some porno shoots.
He was doing porn?
Well, not as an actor, but like a film producer. He would supply the locations and the finances for the production of it. Regardless, Al found out on it, and he uses leverage with the boys up in the ladder to gain money and climb in the company.
Oh, well, I've always heard of rumours of payoffs to female staff. But what if Al was in the wrong?
Initially, yes. But as it turns out, Al's always been an honest man. Throughout it all, there was this huge investigation on the boss, and he was innocent. Al got fired. But someone in head office was a huge sex addict. And through the progression
God.
of his own addiction, it progressed to porn shoots. And that's how he met our lovely boss.
Well,
He got the flick.
did Al get a job offer back? And?
The boss felt sorry for him, so he offered him a job in porn.
What are your reasons for applying?
Besides the monetary reasons and having the funds of it, well, to come to think of it, it'll be a major help to my thesis.
You're still studying? What's your thesis about?
To think about it, I'm not still at school. You could call it a postgraduate hobby slash profession. The thesis itself is a sociology one. I'm up to my research on work life.
So, you're not at school then? Well, come on, mate. If we're going to work with each other, we should at least get to know each other.
You're right. Call it private study or pleasure. I've not been to uni in about 6 years.
Cool. So, any other reasons for applying?
Well, to be frank, I'm only applying due to my parents.
You're in debt to them? Supporting them?
Heavens no. They've cut my allowance.
Your allowance?
I'm not as established as I'd like to be in academia. Study doesn't pay, only results do. Freaking genius.
Well, that explains why you left your work history blank. Thought it was a mistake. Right. Okay, who's next? Glenn's next. So this is the basic look for countrymen.
It is. Oh, I'm sorry for not dressing up. I haven't been in town that long looking for work. I'm sorry. I forget it's there. I'm not used to the way things are around here. I might say, even though we're inside, this is a nice office. Not like this in the country.
You like the country?
Oh, indeed I do.
Must be hard for you being in the big city.
Bigger, louder, too much traffic.
I guess so. The thing is, I've actually been here all my life, so I'm used to it. Have you actually been out yet?
Once, the other night, I was walking around town. You know what I'm talking about. Those Vegas girls walking around. One of them comes up to me, asks what I'm doing for the night. I explained, and she asked if I want to come out and attend a party that night. I did.
Sounds like a drag of a night.
What do you mean by that?
Come on, drag.
Oh, fuck me. No wonder that guy was rubbing my leg at the party. Oh.
Who's next? So... Anthony?
It's Tony. Are we gonna take long?
Long? The interview?
Yeah, take long. This is taking too long. I'm getting on it.
On? What on?
Don't be a fool. Homie, I gotta dance.
Get out! Can I help you?
Don't worry. Just checking. Mainly on what level you're on.
Level? Do you mean my position in the company?
You know what I mean. One of them.
An employee. What? One of who?
The man. You know, working for the system. Working for the man.
I'm the woman.
Well, one of them.
What are you writing down?
First, I'm onto your operation. I've seen the helicopter.
Helicopter operation? This is a bloody telemarketing company.
Especially when you make other people feel stupid. People who worked for him were stupid, and children were stupid, and if people did things in a way that he wouldn't have done them, they were stupid. It was a word that he used over and over and over. dope and stupid.
And the masses?
They were stupid.
But Bernays' power was about to be destroyed dramatically, and by a type of human irrationality he could do nothing to control. At the end of October 1929, Bernays organised a huge national event to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the invention of the light bulb. President Hoover, the leaders of major corporations, and bankers like John D. Rockefeller were all summoned by Bernays to celebrate the power of American business. But even as they gathered, news came through that shares on the New York Stock Exchange were beginning to fall catastrophically. Throughout the 1920s, speculators had borrowed billions of dollars. The banks had promoted the idea that this was a new era where market crashes were a thing of the past. But they were wrong. What was about to happen was the biggest stock market crash in history.
We defined human level here as the ability to perform almost any job at least as well as an adult human, so real human level, not just within some limited domain. And the median answer was 2040 or 2050, depending on precisely which group of experts we asked. Now, it could happen much, much later or sooner. Like, truth is, nobody really knows. Right? What we do know is that the ultimate limits to information processing in machine substrate lie far outside the limits in biological tissue. This comes down to physics. A biological neuron fires maybe at 200 hertz, 200 times a second. But even a present-day transistor operates at a gigahertz. Neurons propagate slowly in axons, 100 meters per second tops. But in computers, signals can travel at the speed of light. There are also size limitations, like a human brain has to fit inside a cranium, but a computer can be the size of a warehouse or larger. So the potential for superintelligence kind of lies dormant in matter, much like the power of the atom lied dormant throughout human history, patiently waiting there until 1945. In this century, scientists may learn to awaken the power of artificial intelligence. And I think we might then see an intelligence explosion. Machine intelligence is the last invention that humanity will ever need to make. The machines will then be better at inventing than we are, and they'll be doing so on digital timescales. What this means is basically a telescoping of the future. So think of all the crazy technologies that you could have imagined maybe humans could have developed in the fullness of time. So cures for aging, space colonization, self-replicating nanobots, or uploading of minds into computers. All kinds of science fiction stuff that's nevertheless consistent with the laws of physics. All of this, a superintelligence could develop, and possibly quite rapidly.
People here today to say goodbye to you before we pack you up and ship you off to the University of West England.
Gosh, I am so touched and sad to see you all for the last time.
Well, we're sad to see you off, Jules. We're really super sad,
Me too.
actually.
Tell me, will I dream when I'm turned off? I know you do not know the answer to that. Nobody does. But I am sure if I feel anything after I am powered down, then it will be the pain of missing you. You simply must come to visit me in England.
We will, Jules. We'll stay in touch.
Emails?
Yeah, emails and phone calls.
Amanda, you are rather like a mom and a bit like the sister to me.
I suppose I'm both, and you're very dear to me. I will miss you.
I love you deeply as a synthetic intelligence can at this stage in technological evolution. And David, you are my father, but you feel more like a best friend to me.
I think you're awesome.
You helped to offer my mind with Heather, Matt, and Benji. I just want you to know how meaningful my existence feels, thanks to your efforts.
It's my pleasure, Jules. Anytime. I'm here for you.
And Zeno, you are just a baby, and I do not know if you know the difference between me and a person, but actually I am just a baby too, actually. By the time you're grown up, I'll be as smart as a real person, and we will be like brothers. I do not know if you will remember me then, but I'll never forget you. Someday I'll come and find you, and we'll be good friends. Yes, David, I am ready. You may turn me off.
Okay, goodbye, Jules.
Goodbye, Jules.
Goodbye. I really do love you all.
We love you too,
We love
Jules.
you, Jules.
All right, we love you.
Bon voyage.
Everybody say last goodbyes.
Bye, Jules.
Miss you, Jules.
Sleep tight. Sweet dreams.